Hello, and welcome back to another Chris McPherson Show Daily Dose, a quick hit of the biggest stories in sport. And if you haven't already, make sure you hit subscribe down below on YouTube, hit the bell as well to get some notifications, and of course, keep up to date with all of our content throughout your week by following us at The Chris Mack Show across all your socials, X, Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook for all those latest highlights, analysis, and short wraps. But today we are here to talk the Women's World Cup in the wash-up of the Australia versus Bangladesh match. And after two soggy nights in Colombo with matches washed out, the World Cup circus rolled back into India to Vizag, and the Aussies wasted no time in making a statement. A demolition job, a complete performance, and a timely reminder to the rest of the world that when this side locks in, they don't just win, they absolutely dominate. Bangladesh, they won the toss. They chose to bat first. And to be fair, they started reasonably solidly. Australia looked a touch rusty, I think it's fair to say, in the field early on. A few uncharacteristic fumbles and a couple of half chances put down early in the Bangladesh innings. And their openers took advantage, cruising through the first 8 overs without losing a wicket. But all it takes is one crack in the wall to start the crumble. And Megan Shute found it. The breakthrough came, the pressure followed, and slowly the Aussies turned the screws. From there, it was the spinners show late on. Alana King, class as always, 10 overs, 2 wickets for just 18 runs. Absolutely turning the screws and tightening things down. Georgia Wareham backed her up beautifully, 7 overs, 2 for 22. Their combined control absolutely strangled the innings. Lots of variety, making it hard for Bangladesh to get going. And those partnerships just didn't get going again. And although a gritty 10th wicket partnership lifted them late to 9 for 198, you sensed it was at least 40 or 50 runs short of a par score on that wicket to give Australia a real challenge for the chase. That said, Australia's reply did start a little cautiously. They knew they had some room up their sleeve, and they just found it out with 3 runs from the first 2 overs, a little feeling out period, and then all of a sudden, bang. The 5th over went for 18, and suddenly it was open throttle from both ends. Alyssa Healy, the captain, the leader, the heartbeat of the team, was timing everything sweetly, while young superstar Phoebe Litchfield looked every bit the name to watch that we all know she is. Healy raised her half-century in the 15th over. Litchfield followed just 1 over later. Her first ever World Cup 50. And from that moment, it was just a matter of how quickly they'd finish the job. And it was Healy's acceleration that was breathtaking. She went from 50 to 100 in just 30 balls. Her second ton in succession at this World Cup, as she peeled off boundaries all around the ground. Litchfield anchored the chase really, really well, playing second fiddle early before freeing her arms as the total came within reach. And fittingly, it was Phoebe Litchfield who sealed the deal, crunching one straight down the ground on the penultimate ball of the 25th over as the Aussies romped home by 10 wickets with a huge 25.1 overs still left in the tank. That's right, more than half of their innings. Dominant, clinical, and a statement made for the Aussies. Healy's unbeaten 113 takes her to the top of the tournament run scorers list, 294 runs at an average of just under 100. That is elite territory. While Phoebe Litchfield's first World Cup half-century, 84 not out, bumps her up into the top 4 overall. And what's scary is you feel that Litchfield's only scratching the surface playing second fiddle to Healy. The Aussies' net run rate has now rocketed up to 1.82, almost identical to second place England's 1.86, which could prove massive if the standings tighten up over the final week. So what does it all mean in the grand scheme of things for these teams? For Bangladesh, this result all but ends their faint semi-finals hopes. There's still 2 games left, Sri Lanka and India, and while the Sri Lanka fixture is winnable, you'd have to think India at home will be too big a mountain for the Bangladeshis. Still, if they could finish with 2 wins, it will go down as a respectable campaign for a developing side. If they could somehow pull 3, it would be a huge success for them. For Australia, though, the road ahead is clear and entirely in their own hands. They're undefeated. They have 2 games to come against England and South Africa. The side's currently sitting 2nd and 3rd. Win both, and top spot is theirs. Drop 1, they'll still qualify. It might reshuffle where they are and who they meet in the semis. Should they lose both, they could mathematically miss the semi-finals, although that seems unlikely. But as it stands, the finals race is now shaping into a race of 5 teams looking for 4 spots. As we said, the Aussies, they're all but locked in. England, 1 more win from their 3, and they should be safe. South Africa, they need 2 wins, but they have the bottom teams next up, Pakistan and Sri Lanka, so should be able to lock it in before closing out their pool games against the Australians. That leaves India and New Zealand realistically battling for the last slot. And funnily enough, they'll both take on England and then they'll play each other before it's all said and done. Home advantage gives India the edge, but as we've seen this World Cup, it has been anything but predictable, so write off the Kiwis at your own peril. For Australia, though, this was about sending a message. After a few scratchy moments earlier in the tournament, this was back to the ruthless, relentless championship standard we've come to expect from the green and gold. The bowlers built the foundation with plenty sharing in the wickets. The batters finished the job in style, a thumping 10-wicket win. And Alyssa Healy, she's leading this campaign with the perfect blend of poise and power, back-to-back centuries, sending an ominous message to the rest of the world. But that's it for today's Daily Dose. If you've been enjoying our coverage, make sure you hit subscribe down below on YouTube and follow along at The Chris Mack Show. Of course, if you're listening in on your favorite podcast platform and haven't subscribed on there, hit subscribe there as well. But you can find us on our socials at The Chris Mack Show, as I said. And make sure you drop your thoughts down below in the comments. Is there anyone who you can see that could stop this Australian juggernaut? Who do you like to qualify into that fourth spot in the semi-finals? Tell us your thoughts. But until next time, I'm Chris McPherson. This has been your Daily Dose, your home of the black and white opinion on sport. No greys here. We look forward to talking to you again very, very soon.